We got a guy there, CBS NFL analyst and pillar of the Pick Six pod. John Breech joins us now. John, let's talk insurance policies because the Jets might need one. Zach Wilson on the mend for the next 2 to 4 weeks after an ill-advised cut in the Jets preseason opener. Unpack this for us. The Jets finally looking to get the aircraft off the ground, and then this happens.
Yeah, and then it nosedived and crashed here. Look, Zach Wilson's the new poster child for why you shouldn't play your starters in the preseason. I'm sure a few NFL coaches around the league were saying, whew, good thing that didn't happen to my team. And now this is definitely a setback for the Jets because, hey, Zach Wilson is going to have to undergo surgery. They don't know what the time frame is exactly, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. And that's a huge difference because if it's only 2 weeks, then boom, Zach Wilson's back and he's starting in week 1 against the Ravens. But if you get into the 4-week range, the 5-week range, then yeah, you absolutely need that insurance. And you know what? That's why they brought in Joe Flacco. Robert Saleh seems pretty convinced that Flacco can help this team win a few games if Zach Wilson's out. And you know what? Joe Flacco revenge game? Who saw this coming? So I have to think that if Wilson is going to miss one game, this is probably the one that Saleh's okay with, thinking, all right, Joe Flacco's going to be 1,000% motivated to win this. Let's do this. So, yeah, let's get some Joe Flacco out there against the Ravens.
3 starters, Saleh says he has on his – must be nice. We've got 3 starters in the quarterback room.
Well, look, one of them went down, so he better have more than one at least.
2.
He did say Flacco is a starter in this league. We might get a chance to look at that. I'm not sure how you sit your starting quarterback when you don't know who your starting quarterback actually is. That's what's going on in Pittsburgh. Always tough when you're taking over for a legend. Ben Roethlisberger is just that. But is it possible the Steelers actually have more than one viable candidate for that job after what we saw?
I mean, there can't be any more coach in the NFL who was more thrilled after this weekend than Mike Tomlin. His 3-quarterback masterpiece out there. He got great play from all 3 of those guys. I mean, hey, you're saying Mitchell Trubisky right now, he's our number 1 guy. He goes out there, reads a touchdown drive on Pittsburgh's first possession. Even Mason Rudolph looked serviceable, threw for almost 100 yards. But obviously, the talk of everyone in Pittsburgh is what Kenny Pickett did. He was absolutely magnificent in the second half. I'm sure even Tomlin was shocked to see how well Pickett played down the stretch, especially that 24-yard touchdown pass with 3 seconds left to win it for the Steelers. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to jump on the Kenny Pickett hype train just yet. Let's not forget, this was against the bottom of the Seahawks defensive roster. Trubisky was in there first quarter, first series, playing against the top of the Seahawks defensive roster. But if I am Mike Tomlin, this definitely makes me stop and think, hey, should I give Kenny Pickett some first and second quarter snaps in one of the next 2 games? And I think the answer to that absolutely has to be yes. If this is a true quarterback competition, you have to find out if Pickett can play with the big boys. So if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm definitely giving him some playing time in either the early first quarter, early second quarter of one of the next 2 games.
No better way to light a fire under your new guy than put him 2 on the depth chart. We'll see if Pickett emerges before week 1. I must say, if we're talking QBs right now, Baker Mayfield, good in that Carolina Blue this weekend, confident, sharp, most importantly, healthy in his lone drive. John, we've seen chip on the shoulder Baker thrive before, but he still has to emerge from that crowded QB room. What did you make of the 12-play sample size on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought Baker Mayfield was magnificent. I mean, no, he wasn't perfect, 4 to 7, just under 50 yards. But look, he's only been in this offense for just over a month. So he's basically only had 5 weeks to learn what he's doing offensively in Carolina. So when you look at it through that lens, it really feels like he did a good job. And I don't know how else to say it. And if you're the Carolina Panthers, if you're thinking, hey, look, yes, we have a QB competition going on here, but I think after watching this game, you get the sense that Baker Mayfield is just the quarterback that has the higher ceiling. I think that Darnold can probably keep things even in training camp, especially because he has a year more of experience in that offense. But Baker Mayfield showed that he probably deserves to be the guy. And like you said, he's playing with that chip in the shoulder. We've seen how well Baker plays when he has a chip on the shoulder, and his chip is about my weight. I don't know. He's got the Browns in week 1. You got to give him the job.
Yeah, this quarterback talk, man, even in the preseason, it's like quite a drug. I want to talk about something else, but you got to keep coming back to QBs. The Niners, they made their choice. There's no competition per se for the QB1 job in San Francisco, but what do you make of what Trey Lance did in his opener?
Oh, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm absolutely thrilled with what Trey Lance did against the Packers. Look, if you're thinking, if the 49ers, if Trey Lance can just play 5 or 10% better than Jimmy Garoppolo, they were an NFC title team last year with Jimmy. So if Trey Lance is just a little bit better, you think that maybe, hey, the 49ers feel like a Super Bowl contender. And I'm not going to say they're there yet based on this one performance. But look, we saw him throw a long touchdown pass where he just took a couple step drop, boom, the ball was gone. That's what Kyle Shanahan likes to see in his offense. We saw him move around. We saw Trey Lance slide. He never slides. And that's one of those things that Kyle Shanahan, one of those small things that he'll really appreciate, because you don't want your quarterback taking these huge hits. So just based on this small sample size, Trey Lance looked phenomenal. And I'm sure Kyle Shanahan feels pretty good about just putting his foot down and making the decision that they're moving forward with Trey Lance and getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, ball was jumping out of his hand, and he definitely opened some things up in that offense for that mind of Kyle Shanahan. Going to be fun to watch this year. John, the wins don't start stacking up for a few more weeks here, but if you want to hand out a lone W here, week 1 of the preseason, overreaction time, who gets the early nod from you?
All right, here's what I'm going to say, because this is a team that's not going to get we're not going to use the Texans and the word win very many times this season. So I'm going to use it now. I'm going to give the Texans as my winner of the week. Look, they weren't overly impressive, but it's the Houston Texans. I'm grading them on a curve. This might have been a C performance for another team. It was an A+ for the Texans. Davis Mills looked okay, 3 for 3. The defense, they gave up an early touchdown on the opening possession, then absolutely shut the Saints down. And more importantly, Dameon Pierce is looking like the steal of the NFL draft, a 4th-round pick. By all accounts, he has been shredding the Texans defense in training camp. That's one thing, the Texans defense isn't great. But to go and do this against New Orleans, average almost 10 yards per carry on 5 rushes. So I really liked what I saw from the Houston Texans, guys, believe it or not.
And the knockout pool, smart play by John. They're going Texans week 1 of the preseason.
Early.
Get them out of the way. If we're going to talk about winners, then, I mean, there had to be some losers out there. Who would you consider the biggest loser of the preseason's opening week?
Yeah, I would have to say the loser was the Cleveland Browns. Yes, they won the game. But look, if you're the Browns, 2 things. You just gave a quarterback $230 million guaranteed. He went out there and fell flat on his face in his first football action in about a year and a half. 1 for 5 is not going to cut it. And I'm sure that nobody in Cleveland is worried about that right now. But look, he's only going to get more rusty, whether it's 6 games, 10 games, 12 games. He is going to be sitting on the sideline doing nothing to start the season. And so you don't feel great watching Deshaun Watson work off the rust here. And then obviously they lost center Nick Harris to injury for the season. That's a devastating blow. So right now, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you don't know for sure who your starting quarterback is going to be in week 1. You don't know for sure who your starting center is going to be in week 1. And that is not a good sign when week 1 is only 4 weeks away.
As if Houston was not bold enough, it is time now for the Geico 15-second bold statement. Going back to the well, John Breech, give us something bold from week 1 of the preseason.
Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bold prediction here is that George Pickens leads all rookie receivers in receiving yards. Look, I don't usually get too amped up about one performance, especially when it's in the preseason, but give me all the George Pickens stock. I'm buying it all. He had probably the best touchdown catch in preseason history in that Steelers win over the Seahawks. That's enough for me. I think George Pickens is going to be a steal. I think he's going to put up huge numbers. And like I just said, I think he is going to lead all rookies in receiving yards.
I like all the qualifiers there. Best catch in a preseason game by a rookie with a waxing moon.
Ever, though. Ever.
Ever. Of all time. John Breech, one of the best of all time as well. Thank you, my friend.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.